Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afan bin Azmi with the metric number 1170308. Today I would like to present my industrial training report. So let's move on to the description of tasks. The first one is solving troubleshoot. So overforming when cooking maltose has often occurred in recent times. This is very dangerous for workers because it is very hot, and if it overflows, it can injure workers. In addition, the spilled maltose is very slippery and can cause workers to fall while working. As a result of observation, throughout the practical period, we have identified that the cause of this overforming is from inefficient machinery as well as different batches of maltose. The problem of overforming can be reduced if the machine is regularly maintained in addition to identifying maltodextrin batches that are problematic to the maltose cooking process. Another issue with maltose product is that their viscosity decreases over time. Customers express their dissatisfaction with the viscosity. We identified certain factors that influence a product's viscosity, including storage temperature, processing, and raw materials. We did a study on the storage condition of maltose. We tested 3 maltose samples at 3 different temperatures: room temperature, outside the building, and in the fridge. For the first 2 weeks, 2 months, and 1 month, the samples were placed. We let the sample cool to ambient temperature for 1 day before testing the viscosity, and the outcomes were recorded. All of the samples used the same raw material. As a consequence, we double-checked the process control and cooking temperature, and the results were consistent across all batches. We may infer that process control was not the most important element, and that storing the product at 8 degrees Celsius or lower is one approach to preserve viscosity. And the next troubleshoot is sediment trap in filter bag during honey production. So, while cooking honey using Indian sugar, we found that there was sediment trap on the filter bag and caused the honey to not be able to go through the cooling tank smoothly. As a result of our observation, this sediment may come from the type of Indian sugar bag used and may also come from the way the sugar manufacturing process is in the factory. Finally, we decided to stop taking sugar stocks from India and take sugar stocks from local factories only while looking for cheaper and quality sugar. And the second task that have been given is the research and development. So there are 2 products or 2 development that have been given to us. The first one is the maple syrup, and the second one is the vegetable powder. The first R&D we did was to create vegetable syrup from vegetable powder. Our first attempt was vegetable syrup from spinach powder, but was unsuccessful due to the severe and strange texture of the syrup beside the smell of spinach, which was too strong. The first attempt was also unsuccessful as we had not yet mastered how to cook honey by hand skewed. Our second try was beetroot syrup. Beetroot syrup was approval from our boss, which is in terms of taste and texture, beetroot syrup is delicious to make as a drinking water and also used to make ice blended. We also tried incorporating blackcurrant flavor into our beetroot syrup, and it was an excellent combination. We also made an attempt to make carrot syrup, but only halfway due to time constraint, and customers canceled the request for carrot syrup. My second R&D during the practical period was making maple syrup. The first sample we did was to take honey base and then add a little maple flavor into 1 kg sample, while the second sample is to cook the honey base manually in the laboratory and then add a little maple flavor into it. Both samples got approval from the boss and also the supervisor, and this R&D is also considered a success for me here. So, the third one is to join the production line. The workers in this factory are all on contract, and there are still no permanent ones. So as long as we undergo industrial training here, we always have a shortage of employees because some of them often take leave without notice, and some of them quit without notice. This caused us to have to join production to fill their job vacancies. Although tired of being on the production line, we can learn in more depth how and flow production products are manufactured there. This indirectly allows me to be better understand on how production happen, as well as make it easier for me to identify the cause of problems that occur during production. And the last one, the task that have been given to me is to conduct the production line. In the last month, I underwent an internship there. I was given the opportunity to conduct production by the supervisor and boss. At first, I was a bit unsure of my abilities, but after trying, I was able to carry out the given task well without any major problems. My job is to make sure all the equipment and raw material used for production are prepared in advance before cooking the product. I also have to distribute tasks to employees and monitor all their work and ensure the production process runs smoothly without any problem. So let's go to the challenge and solution. So the first one is to adapt to the new environment. The first obstacle I had to overcome was adapting to a new environment. The environment in the workplace is different from what I experienced in the classroom, and I would have to learn a lot of new things. I occasionally need to learn on my own. As a result, I constantly considered the most efficient method of doing the work at hand. If I cannot complete some part of the task, I will ask opinion and seek assistance from my colleagues. I also need to get used to being more disciplined, especially coming early to work and adapt for the workload and time management during my internship period. So the second one is the challenge that I got there is insufficient worker. The company has a small factory and just one department, which is production. Because it is a small and medium-sized business, it could only recruit a maximum of 10 people, and they were not on a permanent basis. While undergoing industrial training, many workers quit simultaneously, and this caused the factory to lack workers. We had to join the production line, and at first, we could not adapt to the situation, especially due to the lack of manpower. After 2 months on the production line, we can get used to the situation. The lack of employees also made it difficult for me to distribute tasks to all the employees. This caused us to slow down the production and focus more on preparing customer order with existing stock. We made the decision to request that the boss recruit new employees soon. We advertised the job opening on all social media platforms. We discussed with the boss and possibility of focusing our advertising effort on certain residential neighborhood. We also recommend that the production process be slowed. We had to take a break from cooking and concentrate on packaging and completing the orders. And the last one is insufficient lab equipment. The company still did not have an R&D team when we started undergoing industrial training there. So all R&D work needs to be done entirely by industry training students. All the necessary laboratory equipment is still missing and insufficient, as well as the budget given by the boss is very limited. Each time we want to do an experiment, we need to propose a procedure to the boss and discuss the budget that needs to be spent to do the experiment. This caused our experiment to be delayed quite a while waiting for the necessary item to be arrived. So, to ensure our experimental objectives were successful, we tried to find simpler ways and procedure and not to use a high-cost machine. We chose the experiment to be done manually and hand-skewed, even though it took longer, but we still had fun doing it because it was also a new knowledge and a valuable experience for us. So, despite the fact that I was just an industrial trainee for only 4 months at the factory, I was able to form a good relationship with basically all of the employees there. It is advantageous to have fundamental information and skills during an internship since they may be utilized in the workplace. All of the industrial training goals listed below were met through the 8-week practical training at Choice Privilege. The first one is I have gained a new knowledge in the world of work and can practice that is taught while studying at university. The second one is I can learn how to communicate well with other employees in the workplace and improve leadership skill. And the third one is it can teach me to be more disciplined, independent, and work hard to improve self-esteem and quality during the internship period. The next one is to expose to the next one is I can be exposed to the real world of work and to practice and apply all the knowledge learned in class. And the last one is I can identify problems and shortcomings in the company and then find the best solution for improving the company. So I think that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.